I don't just want to get scripts and act lines. I want to have an effect. I want to tackle subjects. I want to make people stand up and look and think these things happen, and something needs to be done about them.
There are so many people who are never going to have to go through the experience of changing their values, because nobody, as far as they're concerned, who's very close to them is gay. But they might have had this minor kind of emotional eruption or whatever, just from the experience of watching Brookside for months on end, thinking, oh, that Beth's nice, isn't she? Oh, she's a nice young girl.
You know, she is portrayed as somebody's sister and somebody's daughter.
And somebody's
friend. She's not a gay character taken in isolation. She's in a context.
She's not been wheeled on as the lesbian character. She's primarily, she's a human being first. She's not another species by virtue of being gay.
You've got an open line.
A lot of...
And for those people who have just joined us, as you know, we are following the trial like the whole nation is. We swore our own jurist in. Hey, hello, Ray.
Hello, Pete.
So what do you think so far?
I don't know, I swayed a little bit towards Beth when she explained what happened.
Could it be a hung jury? Radio City Gold.
I was the consultant for the lesbian storyline, and it really almost was like I was an alien landing from another planet. It was like, you know, tell us about your life, tell us about the world that you live in and all this, and they just sat there at the end of the table like, wow, God, that's really interesting. And I just sat there and told them my whole life story. And they just wanted to know things like, you know, what it's like coming to terms with sexuality, what it's like coming out to your parents, to your friends.
Mum, people who are gay, they do have long and happy relationships, just like marriages, and just as good.
Oh, do they? Well, it doesn't look that way to me. It looks like they always have to lie about what they are and cope with all that prejudice. I don't want that for you. I don't want you to land up the weird woman down the road who lives with a butch friend and 10 cats, the one the kids laugh at and everyone feels sorry for.
Beth and Mandy totally relate to my experience with my mother, because some of the things she said, like, what did I do wrong? And, you know, I wanted you to be happy, I saw, you know, this and that for you. It's just so funny, because that's exactly what my mum was doing.
Where did I go wrong?
Maybe your fantasy.
I don't think, but I think with the young lesbians coming out on the scene, she has had quite a big effect. It's very, very positive for there to be a non-stereotypical role model, obviously, on TV every time. So any young, sort of confused girl, I mean, those feelings all of us go through when you're like 14, 15, you think, you know, hang on a second, do I actually fancy women? But no, I don't, because I don't look like a stereotype, or you kind of live with those kind of role models in your mind. And I think it's good that people can look at it and think, hang on, yeah, you know, she is a lesbian, so yeah, it is affecting the scene constantly.
I liked her character because she was a bit like the girl next door, not a typical stereotype.
Beth Jordache, I think it's maybe a construction of Phil Redmond as a man, his idea of what a lesbian should look like. She's very good. She has broken a lot of stereotypes, and for that she is important, and she has been, you know, a kind of maverick.
When I came out, and when I was out on the scene, I came out when I was 16, and there were still a hell of a lot of butch women, and it was like one feminine woman in 10 butch women, and I felt very out of place, like I shouldn't be there, you know. So for me it's good, and it makes me feel positive about what I am, and the fact that I don't want to go cut my hair short, but I'm still proud of being a lesbian.
We're strictly a gay night tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're both gay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you tell me some kind of other places in Manchester you go to?
Mentos.
Mentos, well, yeah, that can be mixed. Central Park. Yeah, that's kind of mixed.
There you go.
Oh, okay, you got a bit of space then, go on. Have fun, yeah?
I find it unrealistic
realistic the way lesbians are portrayed on television. You never see any intimacy. Kisses here and there are a little bit titillating. Anything deeper than that is threatening. It's threatening to our monogamous nuclear family society.
Basically, we just wasn't allowed to, you know. I mean, it got slammed enough when we did the kiss on screen. We didn't sort of like, you know, it wasn't even a major kiss yet. You know, everybody saw every kind of thing that didn't even exist, you know. And I think they had to just hold back because of the time and everything like that, and kids watching, and they got a couple of complaints and stuff. It had to go to short pegs.
The cutting of the kisses were completely ridiculous. When it got to the relationship with Viv, and we did a really long kiss that went on for ages and ages, and they didn't shout cut, so we carried on and carried on. And I thought, gosh, it's going to be really good in this on screen. So we turned it on, and I said, I was a bit scared about my grandma and granddad watching it, because they go, oh, Anna, you're kissing another girl. And I watched it, and it wasn't, you didn't even hardly see it, you just kind of saw us go into the kiss, and that was it. So I thought, what's the point of doing the big long kiss? But, again, it's all the censorship.
I'm glad you called me.
Yeah, so am I.
They think nothing of showing Ron Dixon and What's-Her-Face in bed together in the mornings, but the day they show two women waking up in bed in the morning and fumbling under the sheets is the day we've made a breakthrough.
I feel a bit disappointed that we never saw some gorgeous dyke just come in and sweep her off her feet. I'd like to see women like that are on the march, women that exist, you know. I'd like to see me, I'd like to see my friends, I'd like to see the women here represented on television.
I think in a way they're obviously trying to overcompensate, because like when I was talking to people at Brookside, you know, I really wanted to make sure that they didn't do that stereotype. It's like, oh God, please don't have them like, you know, skinhead, shaven, like, oh, just, you know, that really horrible kind of Millie Tent out of Viz, that kind of character, you know, and they could have gone that way. But so I think what they did was like totally overcompensate. Yeah, get, you know, nice, pretty, long hair, Laura Ashley dresses, lovely.